Hello, welcome to Soulprint Insights. I am so delighted you are here. Thank you so much for the prayers and the energy and the white lights. They were received tenfold. I am feeling really great. And I look forward to continuing this journey that we are taking here at Soulprint Insight. So I thank you so much for the care and the concern and the best wishes. And I want to talk today about pendulums. So this is sort of interesting, but I've been doing some other, some pendulum work on my other channel, which is Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. And I've gotten a lot of questions about, how they work or why they work, etc. Now, I am not a pendulum expert by any stretch of anybody's imagination, but I am going to share with you what I do and what my pendulums and how they work, okay? So the first thing I'm going to address is that those who are familiar with my other channel will recognize this little pendulum. It is citrine. And it is wrapped in gold here and rose gold here. It is really a lovely, lovely pendulum. So this one has sort of been hijacked, I guess, into political readings. And part of the reason for that is simply because it's small. The citrine never needs technically, recharging or clearing. It can drop away the energy from the last reading or series of answers. So it's always clear and clean. And so now, and when for some reason that is over and I no longer need to be using it that way exclusively, I will simply reinsert a new intention for this pendulum. Now, people have commented several times about this pendulum on my other channel and the fact that it goes back and forth for yes, and it goes around and around for no. And I can promise you, these other pendulums here, they all go around and around for no and back and forth for no, around and around for yes and back and forth for no. But this pendulum was specifically programmed to respond that way. And I'll show you why. So right here is kind of like a little percentage chart. Okay, so 10, 0, all the way to 100. So I'm going to, for example, ask this pendulum if it is 100% charged, cleared, and ready to answer questions. To what percentage is this thing ready to work? And you can see it's moving very distinctly to the 100%. So, one of the other things, for example, that you might use this for, let's say I'm going to ask the pendulum, can you please tell me what month I was born in? And I don't know how clearly you can see it, but it is going to March, and I am a Pisces. So that's why this specific pendulum was programmed that way. It was to be able to access answers, I almost want to say, like on paper from a physical something, where it had, not a binary either or choice. Okay, so that's this one. Now, the rest of these are ones that I use in varying ways. At varying times. So we're going to start with this one. This is a lovely, lovely pendulum. It's wood. It's made out of wood, and it's a special wood, and it's a special pendulum. And again, if you know me, I don't retain that kind of stuff, but it's lovely. And I tend to use this pendulum because it's wood. I've connected this pendulum to sort of the earth. And things that concern the earth, things that are physical to me or the planet. So, and And so it covers basically, I guess I want to say everything. If you know tarot, this sort of falls under the category of a pentacle, right? It is the one that I would use if I had money questions, if I had questions about property, just physical type possession answers, things that are physical and of the earth. This is what I would use this one for. So, and this one, okay, so we're going to ask it, please show me yes. And you can see that it's going round and round, probably just like 95% of yours out there, okay? Now, this pendulum is really, really special to me. It was made by a very, very dear friend of mine. In fact, we refer to each other as sisters from another mother. So we're very close. She made this one for me, and because it was made by somebody who knows me really well, I reserved this one for personal questions about my personal life, my personal family. And this one also goes around and around for yes. But this is just a really lovely pendulum. And when she made this, it was prayed over. And so this is a really pure vessel. This one, it's got all the colors of the chakra in it. And this one I tend to use if I have, questions about my health, questions about my actual journey through this life, my soul print. If I have questions about, again, concerns that would pertain to the chakras, right? This is what I use this one for, and I am not making this thing move. So it is literally telling you that, yes, that's its job, that's its function, and that's what it's used for. And then this one is a really cool one. I use this one if I'm doing healing work, or I'm trying to get a read on the energy of something. So first of all, I'll tell you the coolest thing I use this for. My kids just love it. I can use this pendulum to almost play like hot and cold if I'm looking for something. So recently, we were looking for a set of car keys in this house. And this pendulum, by literally saying, is it in this room? Are the car keys, okay, so it's in this room. Okay, so is it in this corner? Is it in this corner? And literally we located the set of keys inside a pocket jacket with this thing. So that's one of the really cool things you can actually use a pendulum for if you wish to sort of just program it that way, or just set the intention that in this instance, that is how it's going to be used. But the other thing that I use this for is if I'm doing healing work or chakra balancing, I tend to use this to get a read on the amount of energy. So I want to show you something really, really cool. And I'm hoping that you can see this. So, pendulum, please show me the energy emanating from my hand right now. So you can see it's kind of going almost in it's not even going really in a circle because it's following my hand. And so it's kind of going in that kind of like, almost oblong shape. Okay. So once again, please show me the energy for my hand right now. All right. So it's just slightly outside the dimensions of my hand. I am going to charge this hand with intention and breath to a Reiki level. So I'm going to infuse my hand with Reiki with breath and intention, and then I'm going to ask this thing to show me what my energy field looks like now coming off of my hand. So please show me the energy coming off of this hand now. And I'm sorry, I can't kind of keep the pendulum any lower. So you'll just have to trust me that I'm really not moving it. Please show me the energy emanating off of my hand now. So you can see that, you know, the Reiki in my hand is impacting my energy field, and that's what this thing can show me. I also use it to say, you know, show me the size of this chakra, show me the direction this chakra is moving in. So that's what I specifically use this for. So I guess the moral of my story here is that you can have more than one pendulum, and they can have one purpose or multiple purposes. When my pendulums are not in use, even the ones that do not require clearing, they always end up sort of leaning on top of, draped around, a grounding or clearing crystal. So I really like clear quartz for that. I really like smoky quartz for that. And I actually also use my Lemurian crystals for that. So that's the story there. With crystals and how they work. Now, so let's say that you get a brand new pendulum and you want to get it working for you. You want to connect with it. The first thing I would say is, if possible, once you program the pendulum, and I'll show you a couple different ways to do that. Once that's done, if you can physically carry it around with you, women love to tuck them in their bras, pockets, you know, even a purse, that kind of thing. It really does help the pendulum sort of connect with your energy so that the answers come out more quickly and they come out more clearly. And it really just feels like there's a connection. I also want to make one other point. So let's say I ask a question, and it is giving me, in this pendulum, it would be a no, right? So it's giving me this kind of an answer, right? Now I'm going to make this happen, okay? So let's say, for example, I'm asking a question that honestly I know the answer to, right? I have a very good idea of what the answer to, or based on the way I'm asking the question, there should be a specific answer I'm looking for. And if that doesn't happen, usually what you'll find is that the pendulum has sort of started going really like wonky on you, right? It's not, and it might look like it's a no, but it tends to be a kind of violent no in this case. Sometimes it will start, you know, doing funny things. And because you are energetically connected to this, you actually can feel in your fingers the fact that the pendulum is not on the same energy plane for some reason. It is not accessing the information correctly. And so when that happens, I just tend to stop it and re-ask the question, okay? But there is a feel. I don't have a better way to explain it, but there is a feel as you're holding the pendulum, when you feel that the pendulum is in sync and it is giving you the right answers, and when the pendulum feels as if it's sort of off, you know, dancing its own dance somewhere. Okay, so clearing my pendulums, or, you know, clearing them and charging them. I use crystals on the day-to-day things. Typically on the solstices, so March 21st and September 21st, you know, that the solstice for those months. I love putting these things outside. I just put them outside on a little table, and they sit there and they stay there, and they go through, you know, a full moon and a full day, sort of a full evening of moonlight and a full day of sunlight. And then I feel that they really have been cleared of anything, you know, that is just sort of lingering on them. One of the other things I will do is ask the pendulum if it has sort of released the answers from previous questions, so that this is fresh and new. And those things are just sort of set with intentions. It's just, pendulum, I want this, like, you know, please ensure that your energy is cleared from all previous readings, and that the energy I receive is of the highest vibration I can access. And please show me yes when that has been achieved. And so now you know that that intention has been received, and sort of incorporated. Okay. Now, very often when you're working with a new pendulum, there's kind of this is typically is how I do it if I am not programming it. So I will say, pendulum, are you going to be a good fit for me? And these are questions like I'm going to ask like in the store if possible. I know that you can buy pendulums online, and that's fine. So when you get your hand on the pendulum, okay? So it is now showing me that request has been incorporated. So it's the programming itself is really very, very personal, and it can, some of the things that I like to make sure I am including in programming would be something like that when I'm doing this pendulum work and I am opening up as a channel to receive answers, that I am always protected by the highest and clearest beings that are able to protect me. I very, very often call in Archangel Michael for protection, and I will call in Archangel Gabriel for clear communications. And it really can be as simple as, please show me a yes. Please show me your preferred movement for yes. Okay, so you can start there. And then you set your intentions. I'm always going to hit the highest vibrations. I am always going to be protected. I am always going to get the best truth currently available. I understand that the energies that the pendulum is reading are fluid, and that sometimes they are subject to change. So there is, it's your pendulum. Make an extension of you and program it or set the intentions that it's going to work in a certain way so that you and the pendulum have a clear connection, so that you have clear communications. Okay, so that's my little 101 on pendulums. And I promise you, I am not well versed on them. I just know what I do, and I know what works for me. Okay. I think we're going to wrap this up for now. Again, thank you so very, very much for all of the light and energy. It is very much appreciated. And for those of you that are wondering, I am literally wearing a kind of lounging jacket, and it's made in that amazing soft fluffy material, and it's very cozy. And when I say goodbye, I'm going to plan on tootling off back to my little bed and resting for a while. Thank you ever so much. I am totally enjoying doing this channel. I love connecting with you people, and I am just so grateful for the warm and lovely reception that the Soulprint Insights channel has received. So until next time, stand in your power and stand in your light. Bye.